was asked to create different editing styles using DaVinci Resolve. Styles inspired by creators like Iman Gadzhi, Houston Gold, Vox, Sunny V2, Magnates Media, and more. So today, I'm kicking off this new series with an edit based specifically on Iman Gadzhi's style, the one I mentioned before. For this video, we'll be breaking it down into two main parts. To keep things clear and easy to follow, I'll be covering each part in a separate video. So let's get started with the first one. Begin by adding a background node, connect it to the media out node. To match the reference look, change the background type from solid color to 4-corner gradient. Set both the top left and bottom right corners to a dark red, creating a smooth merge between dark red and black across the canvas. Next, for the signature glowing ball effect, introduce another background node and apply a circle mask to it. Connect this new background's output to the first background's output. Initially, it's a black circle, so let's refine it. Change the second background's type from solid color to gradient. Set the white color stop to red. Then adjust the black color stop's center by changing its X value to 0.5 to position it centrally. For a more realistic glow, switch the gradient type from linear to radial. Now, emulate Iman's editor by increasing the black slider's position to intensify the darkness within the circle and slightly decrease the Y value for added depth. This gives us the basic shape, but let's enhance it further by adding a soft glow effect after the masked background. We select the background node and press Ctrl plus spacebar to search about it. Then type soft glow and press enter. Alright, now let's grab that glow size setting and increase it, so the glowing effect spreads out and takes up more space. Then, find the gain setting and increase that also. That's going to make the glow itself look brighter, give it more shine. After you do that, following the soft glow, add a Gaussian blur node to create a sense of depth. Select the soft glow node and press Ctrl plus spacebar to search about it. Then type Gaussian blur and press enter. Slightly decrease the strength value for subtlety. To position the ball, select the Gaussian blur node and click the transform icon to add a transform node after it. However, you might notice a hard edge appears if you scale down using this transform. To fix this, either select the circle mask node itself and slightly decrease its size, or alternatively, insert the transform node before the soft glow and Gaussian blur nodes. Either method works. Now, select the transform node and adjust the size and position freely. I'll try to closely replicate the positioning seen in Iman's videos, but feel free to place it wherever you like. The final touch for this ball is a subtle shake effect. Select the Merge node, go to the Inspector tab, right-click on the center parameter, and choose Modify with Shake. Switch to the Modifiers tab. For a very subtle shake, increase the minimum value to around 0.49 and the maximum value to approximately 0.5, though you can tweak this to your preference. Now that the first ball is complete, let's create 3 more. Select all the nodes associated with the ball effect. Go ahead and hit Ctrl plus C to copy it, and then just hit Ctrl plus V to duplicate that whole setup right there in your workspace. Connect the output of the first ball's merge node to the input of the second ball's merge node, and connect the second merge node to media out. Select its respective transform node to adjust its size and position, creating visual separation. To enhance the depth between the balls, consider increasing the Gaussian blur strength slightly on the balls positioned further back. Alright, now go ahead and press Ctrl plus V again right there to create the setup for a third ball. Then, you're going to do the same process of the previous ball, adjusting its position, maybe the blur. Once you've got that third one done, do the same for the fourth ball. Just hit Ctrl plus V one last time and tweak it just like the others. Crucially, if you play the animation now, all balls will shake identically. To fix this, select each ball's merge node one by one, navigate to the Modifiers tab for the shake effect, and change the random seed value to something unique for each merge node. This ensures distinct, randomized movement for every ball. With the background elements set, let's build the graph component seen in Iman's visuals. Add another new background node to the workspace, then press Ctrl plus spacebar and search for the grid node. Add it, drag the grid node to the viewer to see your changes live. Decrease the major line space value to 0. Then, increase the row cell and column cell values significantly until you have a pattern of small, dense squares. Once satisfied, switch to the Grid Node's Settings tab and reduce the opacity to around 0.2 for a subtle effect. Now, mask this grid by adding an ellipse mask node and connecting it to the grid's mask input. Adjust the ellipse shape to be more oval and increase the soft edge parameter substantially for a feathered falloff. To create the sharp, defined edges characteristic of the graph shape, add a rectangle mask and connect it to the ellipse mask. Position this rectangle where you want the first sharp edge. To get the inverse effect where the rectangle cuts out a sharp edge from the ellipse, select the ellipse mask node and change its paint mode to multiply. Then, select the first rectangle mask node and check the invert box. Now, add the second rectangle mask, connecting its output to the first rectangle mask's input. Position this second rectangle where you desire the second sharp edge. Ensure the paint mode on the first rectangle mask is also set to multiply. Finally, select this second rectangle mask node and also check its invert box. This setup should give you the desired masked grid shape with soft and hard edges. Alright, next up, go ahead and add a background node to your workspace. Then, just take the output from that new background node and connect it to the output of the grid node we made earlier. This will create a merge node automatically for us, putting them together. Set its color to almost white. Drag this new merge node to the viewer. You'll see a full white screen. To define the line, add a polygon mask node and connect it to the white background's mask input. Carefully draw a straight line along the desired edge using the polygon tool. Once drawn, go to the Polygon Masks Inspector, uncheck the Solid box, and increase the border width slightly to give the line thickness. To soften the ends of this line, add a rectangle mask and connect it to the Merge node. Adjust the soft edge parameter of this rectangle mask until the line's ends fade smoothly. Now it's time for text. Add a Text Plus node and connect its output to the last Merge node, the one with the softened white line. In the Text Plus node's inspector, type $5 to $10. Drag this new merge node to the viewer and choose a suitable font, perhaps one similar to what's used in Iman's videos. Position this text towards the bottom right using the text controls and make it relatively small. Once positioned, let's create the animated highlight effect for this text. Add a new background node and connect its output to the Text Plus node's output, creating another merge node. Now, add a rectangle mask and connect it to this new background node's mask Adjust input. The rectangle mask so its height matches the text height precisely, and position it to cover the text area initially. If you see a black screen covering your text, select the new merge node and press Ctrl+T to swap the inputs. Select the background node associated with this highlight. Change its type from solid color to gradient. Set the white color stop to red. Move the black point of the gradient so it starts exactly at the beginning of the rectangle mask area, ensuring the red fades across the text length. Select the merge node for this highlight layer and change its apply mode to linear dodge for the highlight effect. To give the text itself more aesthetic appeal, select the $5 to $10 Text Plus node, navigate to the Shading tab, and under Shading Element 1, change the appearance type to Gradient. Adjust the mapping size to control the gradient spread within the text, and drag the white color handle further left within the gradient editor to ensure the white part is prominent. Now, let's animate the highlight reveal. Add another rectangle mask and connect its output to the input of the first rectangle mask used for the highlight shape. Ensure you are at the very first frame 0, of your timeline. Move this newly added rectangle mask completely off-screen or outside the bounds of the text area and set a keyframe for its center parameter. Then, move forward in the timeline to approximately 1 second. Now, move this second rectangle mask so it perfectly aligns with and covers the first rectangle mask, which will automatically create a second keyframe. To make the highlight appear only where this animated mask overlaps the static one, select the static rectangle mask, the first one, and change its paint mode to minimum. This ensures the highlight is only visible within the intersection of the two masks. For a smoother appearance, select the animated rectangle mask, the larger one, moving in, and slightly increase its soft edge value. Finally, open the spline editor, select the keyframes, and adjust the handles to create an ease-out effect, starting fast and ending slower. Now, let's replicate this text and highlight for the upper value. Copy all the nodes associated with the $5 to $10 text and paste them. All right, now just connect these two merge nodes together, drag the output from one onto the output of the other, and you'll see a new one will create itself automatically. Select the new Text Plus node and change the text to $1,800. To position this upper text element, add a transform node. And adjust the Y value to move it upwards. Currently, both highlight animations start simultaneously. To offset the upper animation, select the Animated Rectangle Mask for the $1,800 highlight. Open the Keyframes tab, select its keyframes, and shift them so the animation starts at around the 1 second mark, where the first highlight animation ends. Also, adjust the position of the $1,800 Text Plus node slightly to the right so it aligns correctly with the end position of its highlight line. We also need to animate the text appearance itself. Ensure you are at the 1 second mark on the timeline. Go to the Shading tab, set the opacity to 0, and create a keyframe. Then, move forward about 1 second and increase the opacity back to 1, creating another keyframe. Open the spline editor for these opacity keyframes and create an ease-in effect. Slow start, fast end. Now, let's do that same opacity trick again. Go ahead and repeat this opacity animation process, but apply it to the $5 to $10 text this time. Just make sure when you set those keyframes, the animation starts right back in frame 0. Now, let's add the main graphic line. Add a background node and a polygon mask node to the workspace. Connect the polygon mask to the background's mask input. Connect this background's output to the output of the merge node that combined the upper text element. Drag this final merge node to the viewer. Select the polygon mask and draw your desired graph line shape. Customize the curve by adjusting the tangent handles, the yellow points, for each vertex. Pulling them further to the right generally creates smoother curves. Once the shape is defined, go to the Polygon Masks Inspector, uncheck the Solid box, and increase the border width to your liking. Set the background node's color to red. To enhance the line, select this red background node and add a soft glow effect after it. Increase the gain value and decrease the glow size for a tighter, brighter glow. Let's animate this line drawing on. Go to the first frame, frame 0, select the polygon mask node, find the length parameter, set its value to 0, and create a keyframe. Move forward to the 1 second mark, change the length value to 1, creating the end keyframe. Open the spline editor, select these length keyframes, and press S to apply a default smoothing, or customize the curve for a specific ease-in, ease-out behavior. Now we need to combine this entire graph effect with the initial background and balls we created earlier. Drag the final media out node further to the right to make space. Add a new merge node by dragging the merge icon from the toolbar while holding Ctrl or CMD and dropping it onto the connection line just before the media out node. Connect the output of the final merge node into the foreground input, green triangle, of this newly added main merge node. Viewing the media out, you might notice nothing has changed or the graph area is black. This is because the background nodes used within the graph effect are likely still opaque black. Select the main background node used for the grid effect, the one connected to the grid node, and decrease its alpha value all the way down to 0, making it transparent. Similarly, locate the background nodes used for the text highlights, the ones set to red gradients. Select the black color stop within their gradient editors and decrease the alpha value for the black color to 0 as well. This ensures only the colored parts of the highlights are visible. To position and scale the entire graph effect, add a transform node after the final merge node of the graph section, before it connects to the main merge node, and adjust the size and position as desired. Let's add a fade-in for the graph. Select the main merge node, the one combining the balls and the graph. Go to the first frame, frame 0, set the blend, opacity value to 0, and create a keyframe. Go forward to around frame 15, half a second. Increase the blend value back to 1, creating the end keyframe. Open the spline editor for these blend keyframes and adjust for a fast ease out, starts fast, slows down, for a snappy appearance. The animation is nearing completion. For the dynamic zoom effects, select the very last node before media out and add 2 transform nodes sequentially after it. Select the first of these new transform nodes. Go to frame 24 and set a keyframe for the size parameter. Then, advance just 1 frame to frame 25. Increase the size significantly to create a hard zoom effect, and crucially, adjust the pivot point, X and Y values, so that the $800 text ends up centered in the screen during this zoomed state. This creates a quick, punchy zoom. Now, select the second transform node added at the end. Go to frame 0 and set a keyframe for its size parameter. Then go to the very end of your composition timeline. Increase the size value slightly, perhaps to around 1.2, creating another keyframe. Open the spline editor for these size keyframes and apply smoothing. Press S or F. Subtle, continuous zoom in throughout the entire animation duration. Let's add the final text element, hourly rate. Add one more text plus node. Connect its output to the merge node within the graph effect section. Write your world hourly rate. Position this new text at the top center of the graph area. Change the font to match the other text elements. To apply the same gradient shadow effect, go to its shading tab, change the appearance type to gradient, decrease the mapping size appropriately, and drag the white color handle to the left. As a final touch to unify the look and add polish, add one last soft glow node right before the media out node, affecting the entire composition. Adjust the glow settings subtly. This can often give the visuals a more cohesive and powerful appearance, and that completes the effect. We've built the multi-layered background, the animated graph, text, highlights, and zooms. See you in part 2. Out.